The full Play It Today breakdown is linked in the description on theircheck.com, but the useful answer comes first. Warriors of Might and Magic is hard to recommend to most people today, not because it has no value, but because almost every practical path to playing it comes with a catch. This is not the Might and Magic game you start with because you heard the name somewhere. It is an action RPG spin-off with awkward, modern access, a messy version picture, and gameplay that was already a tough sell in its own time. If you are looking for a clean entry point into the series, this is not it. So who is it for? It is for the specific player who wants to see one of the stranger console branches of Might and Magic. The person who is curious about late PlayStation and early PlayStation 2 action RPGs, the franchise completist. The player who does not mind a game being clunky, as long as it is interesting as an artifact. That is a real audience, just not a very broad one. For everyone else, the case is weak. The main reason to skip it is simple. You are not just fighting dated design, you are also fighting access. No clearly verified official digital listing was found in the research pass. That means this is not a normal buy it on a modern storefront and see for yourself recommendation. And even if you do get it legally, the game is not especially welcoming. Contemporary criticism pointed to slow, awkward combat, especially when the game surrounds you with enemies. That matters, because this is not a slow, party-based RPG where friction is part of the strategic texture. It is an action RPG where the feel of combat is the thing you are living with. There are better ways into the broader brand. If what you want is classic Might and Magic strategy adjacent comfort, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Complete is a much stronger place to start. If you want a more accessible modern spin-off, Might and Magic Clash of Heroes Definitive Edition is a more practical route. Neither replaces Warriors, but both make more sense for most modern players. Now, how do you play Warriors of Might and Magic legally today? The best current answer is not very satisfying. Track down a legal physical copy, preferably the PlayStation 2 version, and use the appropriate original hardware or a legally supported setup you already understand. No good legal mainstream digital option was verified. That is the key thing. There is no clean, low-friction recommendation here, no easy just buy this version answer. If you see searches for downloads, ISOs or ROMs around this game, that is a sign of the access problem, not something to follow. The PlayStation 2 version is the best version for most people who are already committed to playing it. Not because it suddenly turns the game into a lost classic, it does not. It is simply the least confusing main target. It is the version most people are likely asking about when they search for the game now, and it fits the console action RPG identity most directly. The PlayStation version matters, but mostly for purists who specifically want that release. The Game Boy Color version matters for a different reason. It is structurally distinct. It is a top-down 2D action game with light RPG elements, not the same experience as the console game. Treat it as a curiosity, not as the obvious alternative, so the version logic is easy to remember. PS2 if you insist on playing the main version, PS1 if you have a specific reason, Game Boy Color if you are studying the weird branches. No version is a strong modern recommendation. Before starting, adjust your expectations around controls and core mechanics. Do not come in expecting a polished action RPG with modern responsiveness. Come in expecting slow combat, awkward enemy handling, and a game that may feel more interesting to examine than satisfying to push through. The practical skill is not memorizing a route, it is deciding early whether the feel works for you. Give the combat a fair chance, but do not force a full playthrough just because the franchise name has weight. This is exactly the kind of game where a modern player should feel allowed to bounce off. That is the honest verdict. Warriors of Might and Magic deserves a page because the access and version picture are confusing, not because most people need to play it. If you are curious, aim for the PS2 release and know what you are getting into. If you just want a good modern starting point for might and magic, skip this one.